וואה. הם היו 20 לפני רגע. מדהים. טוב. שלום לכולם, אנחנו תכף נתחיל. שלום לכולם.
היי.
שלום. רגע, בואו נראה מי פה באמת. נעשה רגע גלרי. תמיר, תוכל להוריד את הספוטלייט? Thank you. טוב, שלום, שלום. אני רואה פה צוותים וצוות יזמות. היי, וחברים והאקספרטים שלנו.
שלום, שלום.
אני רואה פה צוותים וצוות יזמות. היי, וחברים והאקספרטים שלנו. למי פתוח הפייסבוק שלנו ברקע ואני שומעת עצמי פעמיים? סבבה. אנחנו נחכה דקה או שתיים. גם יש לנו פה waiting room שקצת מתפוצץ. האמת היא שנראה לי פשוט בואו נסגור את ה-waiting room זהו, מעולה.
אנחנו נודה לאלה שהגיעו בזמן, ונהיה סלחניים לאלה שמאחרים כמה דקות.
אחרי הכל להגיע לבאר שבע זה רחוק.
waiting room עדיין אקטיבי.
נכון.
And we switch to English now because I see a few foreign guys. Hi.
Thank you guys for waking up so early. Hi. The session is also being live streamed on Facebook. So all of you who want to share or comment, you're welcome. Yazamut 360 is the page.
Okay, I think we should start so that all the punctual people are respected. Welcome everybody. צהריים טובים לחברים מישראל. Good morning to our guests from abroad. It's really exciting to see almost 70 people and growing, busy people ready to spend another couple of hours on Zoom after the last year with that many hours. I promise you will not regret it. 2 years ago, when shaping the concept of an accelerator in the South, we quickly understood that we had a unique and differentiative advantage. We could access a huge pool of technologies with top researchers behind them, the Ben-Gurion academic staff. We started to match these researchers with seasoned entrepreneurs who brought in years of business and managerial experience. And we added a special spice, our dear associates, young students with a spirit of entrepreneurs who injected their energies and skills to the team. We were also blessed to engage with a bouquet of amazing partners. The Ben-Gurion TTO, BG Negev, our sister organization, who helps us reach out to the researchers. IBM Alphazon, who shares their accelerator and business experience and resources with us. And a selected list of dear Oazis partners, which you can find on our website, who believed in us from the beginning and help our teams become real startups. A special thank you goes to our dear mentors, all seasoned entrepreneurs themselves, who invested their precious time and wisdom to closely accompany the teams along the whole cycle. Frankly, when Cohort 1 graduated a few months ago, we were a bit surprised that the bet we took actually worked out, and that pure academic technologies actually became investment-worthy startups. So far, we are proud to share that our portfolio has already raised $5 million, and most of the other teams are in negotiations for their investment, and most of them are enjoying some real customer traction. Our second cohort, which you will see in a minute, has proven that it was not a one-time lucky success, but rather a solid engine to build academic deep technology startups, a venture builder. Now to our dear startups, who are the really stars of today. Dear friends, you actually deserve most of the credit. Your talent, your commitment, your spirit are the secret sauce that makes Julia and myself so proud and thankful of what you have accomplished and you are going to share in a minute. You are indeed an oasis of entrepreneurship in the Negev. Everyone is waiting to hear you. But before we start, I would like to welcome Professor Raz Yelnik to open the event. Raz is not only the BGU VP R&D, but also a research contributor to Oazis. Raz, please.
Raz is still not here. I think we'll switch to Dana.
Okay.
He's gonna be a little late.
Okay, and I hope Raz will catch up. So Dana is the head of Yazamut 360 Entrepreneurship Center of BGU and our beloved manager. Dana?
Okay, just unmuted, so I hope all is well. Thank you, this is so exciting. Wonderful people, thank you for joining us. I do hope this is the last time we're all on Zoom, but nonetheless, it's just so exciting to see here with us. First of all, the researchers. We have to say these are the people who actually made all the heavy lifting and did all the work that we're about to see. This is the second cohort, and it's just so exciting to see this buildup of what Oasis is doing in the campus. So thank you, researchers, for joining us on the entrepreneurship quest that we are doing here at Yazamut 360 and at Oasis. I'd like to say a big thank you to the BGN team that is with us all the way, and that is literally working with us day by day on making these projects and these amazing technologies into startups. It couldn't happen without the BGN team that is here and the BGN CEO who is leading this whole process. Josh, thank you so much, Josh Peleg. Huge mention and thank you to our friends at IBM, at AlphaZone. This is the second cohort that you're with us, and we see huge value in this partnership. So thank you, Yaniv, Ronen, Uri, and the whole team. It's just wonderful that you're here with us and helping us grow. I'd like to say that Oasis, the essence of Oasis is I think just growing, and we understand when we started Oasis, we thought that this could be a great basis to kind of bridge the gaps between the technologies, the researchers, the commercializations process, and eventually the industry that is interested in the results of this whole process. And I think that we're building something that we're figuring out as we go, and is just huge in the sense that it actually does the job. It kind of relates between the sides and makes the journey much easier for all, and much more interesting and friendly, I think. And that's the major goal. Times are changing. We're adjusting with time. Everybody's adjusting. The universities are adjusting, and the tech transfer organizations are adjusting. Oasis is a wonderful example to see that all this is actually happening. And we at Yazamut 360 are just so happy that this process is happening. Thank you to the amazing Oasis team. Yulia, thank you so much. And Michelle, you've done a fantastic job. Now it's just my word. In 2 hours time, everybody will be convinced, I think, that I'm right. And to all the mentors that are with us today, and I know just how hard you've all worked with the startups, and that I hope you're enjoying. I know you're enjoying the way, but it's just wonderful to know that you're with us and staying with us for a third cohort. And we very much appreciate all your efforts and all the time that you're spending with our startups and with our researchers. Thank you to the students that are also part of these startups. And we see this as a fantastic opportunity for you to experience the whole process. I'd like to say a huge thank you to Professor Carmel Sofer, who's leading the Entrepreneurship Center and is also leading Oasis and helps us really throughout the journey. And finally, to all my team at the Yazamut Center, we're all in this together, and it feels great. The university management has a huge role in making Oasis happen and in backing it up. I'd like to say that this is something new that is important to the university management, to the president, to the vice presidents, and to understand that we're having a different approach to applied science, to deep technologies, and to the university's role in bringing the science and technology to realization and to the marketplace. So it's great to have you all here. Thank you, and good luck today.
Thank you, Dana. Thank you so much. And now to the main course. So, Julia, do you want to take us through the startups now?
Thank you. Thank you, Dana and Michelle and everyone. Thank you for coming, or virtually coming, and welcome. We've been waiting a little bit longer than we wanted to for this day, but I promise you'll be worth it. And I'm super excited and proud to present to you the fruits of our team's hard work, startups who have actually become a family throughout the Accelerator. And after each pitch, you'll have 10 minutes of Q&A. And I'd ask you to send me the questions in advance to my private chat. You can find me, I'm listed as Oazis Julia. And please send it to me, the question itself, so I can group similar questions and hand over the mic fairly at the end of each speech. And also, please ask the questions briefly. We have only 10 minutes, and we'd like each team to be able to answer as many questions as possible. So that's it. We're starting. Kick back and relax. And without further ado, I would like to welcome our first team for today, bringing us to the bug era. There you go.
Marty, you got to come with me.
Where to?
To Beersheba. What are you doing?
I need fuel. I need organic waste to feed the black soldier fly. Get in.
No. Are you insane? How do you make fuel from waste?
Come to see Ben-Gurion presenting in the Oazis demo day.
Hello, I'm Yoav.
And I'm Ur.
And I'm Dr. Anna Miller. We are Bakira. We are developing novel black soldier fly strains to give us oil for biodiesel and novel products.
Hello. Let's imagine that we can turn this organic waste into valuable fuel, healthy crops, and other sustainable products. My name is Yoav Adgal, and I'm Ben-Gurion CEO, Insect Biotechnology for a Sustainable Future. Here's the hero of our story, the black soldier fly, or BSF for short. BSF is a magnificent and harmless animal that turns organic waste into valuable products like protein, oil, and fertilizer. Used today mainly for the animal and pet feed, BSF is both unique biorefinery and a bioreactor. In the last decade, BSF was domesticated and commercialized for industrial use. It is grown by farms, which transforms up to 250 tons of organic waste a day into oil and protein and sell them mostly for animal feed. The current BSF market is estimated at $1 billion and predicted to triple by the end of the decade. In addition, the BSF segment attracted more than $300 million in investment in the last 3 years. We believe that the potential of this market is far from being fulfilled. While BSF oil composition is a perfect fit for biodiesel, it is not profitable due to low BSF oil volume. According to biodiesel experts, the industry requires a new source of feedstock to satisfy the growing biodiesel demand, which will be 5 times bigger by 2024. Our first product is a perfect solution. Using genetic engineering, we are developing a new strain of BSF that can produce double and more oil volume, making it profitable for the biodiesel industry. And this is just the beginning. By leveraging genetic engineering, we create a patent-pending modified BSF platform that allows us to develop multiple strains for multiple verticals. Our strategy is to start with the biodiesel segment, which allows us a relative short time to market and serves as a risk reduction to the second product for the biopesticides market. Since the first target is biodiesel, I would like to present what an attractive opportunity it is. The biodiesel market was estimated at $30 billion in 2020, while it is predicted to grow by $15 billion in the next 5 years. This prediction is amplified by the Biden administration that announced a clear goal calling for a novel biomass for fuel production. Even under a modest assumption, if the producers of BSF oil capture only 5% of this growth, they will add a new revenue stream of $150 million per year. Our product is an enabler for this huge potential of the BSF industry. This is why our business model is to sell the modified BSF colonies to the existing BSF farming companies. They are our customers. The colonies will be shipped to the customer every several months according to the desired oil volume and price. The BSF farms will use identical process they are using today to breed our strain, extract the crude oil, and sell it to the biodiesel refineries. The target price of 1 ton of crude oil should be around $700, being a very competitive cost with existing feedstocks and providing significant profit. Our revenues will come from a revenue share or licensing model with the BSF farming companies. And as for our competition, we have identified 4 direct competitors. When comparing their offering with our value proposition, it is clear to see that our platform-based technology allows us to develop multiple new products for multiple new markets. In addition, there are 2 Israeli-based companies that share with us similar expertise. We see them as potential partners rather than competitors. And how will we do that? We have the best team for the job, with over 60 years of combined experience in scientific insect research and business. Anna Melkov, vision, ideas, and soul, together with her unique experience in insect genetics, are the reason I'm here presenting to you. Uri Abdu is the founder and the head of the Insect Genetics Lab in Ben-Gurion University. And I am a retired lieutenant colonel from the Israeli Air Force with vast leadership experience in diverse technologies and global deployment, a veteran VP of an Israeli startup, TowerSec, acquired by an American corporate in 2016. And these are the goals for the next 18 months. We aim to be the first to hit the BSF market with a novel strain targeting the biodiesel challenge by the end of 2021, while engaging with a design partner, expanding the team, and setting up an initial R&D site. This will enable us to reach first sales in the second half of 2022, and in parallel to develop the second product with the biopesticides market by the end of the same year. To execute this plan, we are raising $2 million. Our team, together with this little fly, bring a disruptive innovation that turns this into reality, from organic waste into fuel and profit. I'm inviting you to join our team in the journey into the bug era. Thank you.
Thank you. Now for questions. There you go.
Hi, Yulia, can you hear us?
Yes, I can hear you. Also, a small request, can everyone mute themselves while we present the pitches, because there's some sort of echo. We're trying to figure out where it comes from. Thank you. Okay, so any questions can be sent to me on my private chat. There's actually a question from our Facebook. 1 second. Okay, so Bagheera, well, E from our Facebook is sending, why is biodiesel goes first and not current feed market?
Actually, this is a very good question. The feed market is a saturated market and is very regulated. The regulation goes from the substrates, the waste stream that the BSF is grown on, and the end product. Since we are doing genetic engineering, this regulation is a sort of a barrier that we need time to go over. This is why we prioritize biodiesel, since the regulation is not applying on the end product, which is oil that turns into diesel, that then is burned in pickup trucks or airplanes, and the waste stream does not have to be regulated. This is why we prioritize biodiesel from business perspective. From science perspective or from technology perspective, the strain has double usage. On regions where the regulation is not harsh, definitely we are looking for customers to grow our strain and sell their oil with a significant profit of about 20% of the current profit they do for the feed market.
Thank you. Well, you're not live, but I hope that answers your question. Any more questions? There you go. Itik is asking if you're looking for something more or other than an investor. I think people are aiming to help you out, guys, or partner with you. So if you're looking at partners.
I thank Itik very much for the question, because yes, it is important to us to collaborate with a strategic partner or design partner to allow us to scale up our technology, to test it in different environments. And yes, all of you out there, they can hook us up with leading companies, biodiesel companies, and BSF companies. We'll be glad to discuss with them collaboration and strategic planning.
Thank you. Oh, there. Thank you for that. Any more questions? Now be the time. Oh, there's a, okay. Eden, I hope I read it well, is asking about regulation. Any regulation obstacles you're expecting?
As I said earlier, in order to breed and grow genetically engineered insect, there are some regulations that needs to be approved. It is dependent on geographical regions. It's not the same. Not the same regulation applies to the North America or Europe or APAC. And we have very good indications in the EU and in the US, these regulations are a hurdle that we can go over, mainly because the first product, the first strain is a genetically edited insect, which is not genetically modified. And there are distinct cases. Maybe Anna, would you like to elaborate more?
Like you said enough. There is a difference between genetic modification and genetic editing. And our first strain is genetically edited, so it is its own regulation.
And if you could just speak up a little bit, because we're not really hearing you well.
What is happening? So there is a difference. Can you hear me now better?
A little bit better. Try maybe a little bit closer.
It's something personal with the microphone. There is a difference between genetic editing and genetic modification from the regulator point of view. And there is a difference between countries, as you have already mentioned. And our first strain is genetically edited, so we already got a positive indication for our strain to be approved for animal feed.
Thank you. Yeah, there are actually many questions about regulation. Gadi's asking if you're planning to build farms or if you're aiming to a certain market in the US or Europe.
We consider ourselves as a strain company, as a biotechnology, genetic engineering company. Our first goal is to be the first in the world to market genetically edited strain and to collaborate, as I said earlier, with existing BSF companies. So the immediate plan for the next few years is not to build a farm, a business farm, but it's something that we're thinking on a much futuristic aspect later on.
Thank you. And Ofra, actually, Ofra, do you want me to spotlight you? We have enough time. I was trying to run over the questions, but I think we have enough time. Ofra Evan, would you like to ask your question? Ofra? You're still muted. Yeah, there you go.
Okay, I wonder if there are any concerns regarding changing the balance in nature, you know, because you're taking now one fly and you have millions and millions out of it.
Thank you.
I didn't hear the question.
The question was, thank you, Ofra. Are there any concerns regarding changing the balance in nature due to the flies?
Okay, this is a very good question. We are doing genetic engineering, and the flies should be bred in the contained environment, and the escaping of the flies should be prevented. And in the northern areas, as Europe, the fly can't actually be survive outside the contained environments, outside the farm, because of the temperatures and so on. But there is a regulation on this too, like the environment that should contain the flies inside and not outside.
Thank you. And last question, we had two questions about theft protection. What prevents your competitors from stealing or buying your flies and just genetically or using them and their further offsprings?
That's another very good question. We have a very clear strategy to cope with this threat. It is both a business and scientific one that I cannot elaborate in this call. It is strongly in our R&D map, and we have plans that our unique IP, the IP that was developed in Ben-Gurion University Life Science Department, will not find itself in places where it is not part of that. So it is on our plan, and we know how to deal with it.
Thank you. Thank you, Bagia. I think we're out of questions. There you go.
Maybe you can say who is in the room here.
Yes, actually, if you want to present yourself, that'd be nice. You have a wonderful, great team.
Sure, I'll do it for everybody to save time. So the reason we're all here, Anna is here. She had the vision of Bagira, and I'm working with Professor Abdu, bringing black soldier fly into the university. And the three associates that we have here, Do, Adi, and Arina, who helped us very much in the last 6 months. And thank you, everybody. Glad to be here. Hope to get some calls after this demo day is ended. Thank you very much.
There you go. You're definitely one of our most spirited startups. Thank you, guys, and well done. Our next startup, yes?
We do have Raz who joined. So
wonderful.
So,
Raz, if you can
again, Professor Ravi Elnik, VP R&D of Ben-Gurion University, and also a contributor of one of his researches into our arena, which is on our website. So Raz, please.
Yeah. Hi, everybody. I apologize for not being on time. That's the problem where when we go back to normal life, and so suddenly we see that there is a Zoom. So I apologize. I'm very happy to be here. I was very interested in the initiatives and the startup companies that came out of the last 2 rounds. It was really a great experience, both technologically, also getting to see the spirit of the teams and the spirit of Oazis. It was really very inspiring. And I'm looking forward to this round, to hear and to see the exciting things and the new things and the innovations. Good luck to everybody. Thank you.
Thank you, Raz. And you know, it's like kids. After Cohort 1, which you witnessed, we thought that's a climax. You cannot have a more beautiful baby. And then Cohort 2 arrived, and we are at least as proud of it as Cohort 1. So thank you for coming, Raz. And continue to send many researchers to come to Oasis, okay? Doing a great job. Yulia.
Sure.
Thank you, Raz. We hope to see you in maybe one of our next cohorts. Our next team, I hope you're ready. Their name is Dots, and they bring a unique agri-tech solution to keep our water safe and our farmers happy. There you go.
Let me ask you something. Is this really what we want to leave behind? And this is not some godforsaken country. This is the United States. It's Michigan, it's Pennsylvania, it's Long Island. Is this what we want to leave for our children's future? Well, we do not. We're Dots. We're the first and so far the only company with a proven groundbreaking technology for real-time nitrate monitoring in agricultural soils. But let's start at the beginning. Today, there's no such thing as agriculture without fertilizers, which are critical for crops and high yields. 65% of them are nitrate-based. Thing is, nitrate is tricky, as it's highly mobile in the soil. 1 minute it's there, and suddenly it's gone. To ensure adequate fertilization, farmers always overdose the soil, leading to 40% waste. Resultantly, farmers suffer great financial losses year on year. The world faces an ever-growing environmental catastrophe, and municipalities face high water rehabilitation costs. And why is that? Well, although critical, companies attempting to address the problem do not. They offer estimation methods, smart, but estimations nonetheless, or visual analysis methods, which are too little too late, as by the time you see the lack in fertilizer, the damage is done. And there's manual sampling, which on large-scale farming is very expensive. There is no proven technology offering real-time data at the point of need, at the time of implementation. So, let me tell you our story. A few years ago, Dr. Elad Yeshno, a young and inspiring student at the time, reached out to Professor Ofer Dahan, who is a well-known expert in nitrate-related issues. Knowing the solution must be interdisciplinary, they called for Professor Shlomi Arnon, an electrical and computer expert, to join them. And after years of research, they cracked it. Lucky for me, when they felt market ready, they invited me to lead the next part of the journey. I'm Rafi, and I bring with me over 35 years of engineering, management, and business experience. We're DOTS, and we developed an enabler for real-time analysis. For the first time, nitrate can be continuously and precisely monitored. With DOTS, fertilizers can be precisely applied only when required by the plants. DOTS developed an innovative electro-optical sensor, enabling continuous, automatic, high-rate data sampling at the root level. Our technology is unique, proven, owned, and patented. And where do we stand? Our first generation is fully proven. Our second generation is now in the advanced stages of field tests. And the next generation is already in the workings and shall be a tin can size unit. So let's see the market potential. Fertilizers in use hold 65% nitrate and are sold for $70 billion yearly. The sad reality is that $30 billion turn to waste every year. As we expect a 50% reduction in waste, the first available market stands at $15 billion a year. We foresee a wide penetration as we hold a unique technology. But even at a conservative 5% penetration, our immediate market is close to $1 billion a year. We will start with Europe and the US as they are regulation-driven and proceed to other countries which are also moving towards regulation. We will diversify to additional chemicals, not only nitrate, and we will offer big data to support authorities in mapping contamination, to support fertilizer companies in research and product improvements, and to support farmers in correlating between fertilizer usage to yields and quality of crops. What are we up against? Well, there are many companies in the sector, but all of them hold a limited solution as they offer estimated data or too late data or expensive data. We are the only company offering a precise, practical, and affordable solution. We've invested over 7 years of research and close to $500,000. We're now looking to raise $2 million for further research, product design, beta deployments, production readiness, marketing, and sales. With this investment, we will also reach our first paying customers. We plan to move from a technology demonstrator to a product within 1 year, from a product to sales within the second year, and reach cash flow positive by the 4th year. If you're still asking yourself why us, why now? Well, us, because we have the right team. We have an interdisciplinary and experienced team specifically in this field, because we own disruptive technology, developed, proven, and patented, and mostly because we've demonstrated results showing higher yields and minimal contamination. And why now? Because the market calls for it. Farmers struggle for cost cutting and higher yields, and the environment cries for help. Just imagine the great ecological value we will deliver. We're DOTS. We're the first, we're on the dot, and at the right spot. Thank you.
Thank you, Dots. We have a question from Vicky. Vicky, would you like to ask it?
Yeah, great presentation, by the way. So my question is, you presented a plan of getting $2 million and reaching break even within 4 years. Are you sure it's enough money for you guys to grow there?
Thank you, Vicky. Thanks for your question. The answer is no, it's not enough money to grow there. We will be raising more funds as we go along. The way we structured the plan is that these $2 million would reach two major milestones which we presented. One is we will have a product and not only a technology. Presently, we have a working technology, a proven technology. We have to transform it into a product that will take about a year. And second, we're going to have to go through tedious beta site deployments on that product and start marketing. At that point in time, we will run out of these $2 million. So we estimate that we will need one more round of investment within 2 years or so to make sure that within 4, we have enough marketing bandwidth to start becoming cash flow positive. That's the idea.
Thank you. That sounds more reasonable.
Thank you. Next question, our own Dana.
Yeah, hi. First of all, this was a fantastic presentation. Thank you. I wondered, can you monitor other compounds?
Elad, do you want to step in here?
Hi.
You want to present yourself, Elad?
Yes, thank you. I'm Elad Yishno. I'm the CTO of DOTS. I've been doing this thing for the research that got us till today for the last 6 years, from the master to the PhD. And the answer is that the wishful two more constituents that we would like to measure in the soils are phosphorus and potassium. We have some indications for phosphorus. However, we need a little bit more research to get there. But the immediate, and this is why we choose to focus on nitrate, is that among the other fertilizers, ingredients in the soil, nitrate is the one that pollutes the more, and is also the highest expenses of in the agriculture business. So we choose at the moment to focus on nitrate, and we'll see. We will currently working on, but most of the eggs are on the basket of the nitrate.
Thank you, Elad. Our next question is from Gadi. Gadi, I'm looking for you to spotlight you too. There. Hi.
Hi. First of all, congratulations, everybody. Great performance. I have an interesting question about the go-to-market. From the way I look at it, your enemies will be the fertilizer companies, because you're going to take from them billions of dollars. So what is your go-to-market plan? I think you would need some big giant alongside with you. Did you spend some thought about that?
Yes. First of all, thank you for your question. It's as though we met before and I asked you to ask this question. This is the stumbling block that everybody we speak to raises. And I'll say one thing here. Fertilizer companies are very much like the other conglomerates dealing with controversial or with non-sustainable goods like oils, gases, chemicals, etc. The world cannot do without them, but the world hates them. They spend billions of dollars not only on PR and trying to show that they're greener or better than their competitors. They are spending the money on really trying to be better and greener than their competitors. We don't see them as our enemies. We see them as our, let's say, we would be their complementary product, because if they can come and actually prove to the authorities while using our products, there's no leaching, there's no groundwater contamination, and scientifically prove it, not statistically prove it or by soil sampling here and there, but literally having the alarm bells ring every time there is leaching, they would ask us to, or they would beg us to work with them, because that will make them greener, literally greener and sustainable. Authorities, regulatory bodies are fighting them day in, day out. They're fining them. And the reason that there is no very strict regulation in this respect today is because there's no real-time monitoring capability, and you cannot regulate something you cannot measure. So we do see them. They will not like us to begin with, but they will love us once they figure out that it makes them better. And at the end of the day, everybody wants to make money, but they want to also have a world to leave their kids.
I think you're in the right direction, but I think regulation is the key. If you can become the standard for this industry, that everybody will be around you, you're on the king roads. This is, I think, something you should consider, how you make yourself a standard for all the regulators.
Thank you very much for this comment. We will be working with regulators, but I think that's the second or third round of approach. The first is to prove to the farmers that they make more money, more crops, and spend less money, which makes a better bottom line. Once they're in the game, we will go to the next level of fertilizer companies and regulators and try and close this triangle or work on this triangle of success.
Thank you, guys. We have a question from Hillel from Desert Tech.
Hi, Rafi. What are your main needs right now in the near future?
I'm sorry, can you repeat the question?
What are your main needs in the near future?
I'll be blunt and say funds and 3 solid engineers.
Okay.
If there are any solid engineers in in our crowd, you're welcome to join. Thank you, Hillel. Desert Tech is definitely a wonderful community that fits dots very much. Looking for one more. I'm grouping some questions together here. There are questions about the device, how you measure it, how many devices do you need to cover a certain territory?
I will let Elad answer that, but the immediate answer is we are not yet with a definite answer. We're still in trials, and we will know exactly what we need per acre or per field when we complete the trials. But the numbers are financially viable. It's not that we're going to need 100 sensors per acre or 100 sensors or 1,000 sensors per field, which may lead to non-viable solutions. Elad, do you want to elaborate on that a bit?
Yes, so exactly as Rafi said, it's a question of if we're going with measuring. So in a citrus's orchard, or if we're measuring in a hilly wheat field, the number of sensors and the way you're going to place them in the field are going to change in the ways that we can measure the nitrate and fertilizers optimally to give the farmers the ability to waste as less as possible and basically increasing its profits. So we don't have it's not a question of numbers or like a number per hectare. It's a little bit more of a complicated a map on how to place these sensors in the fields, both in spatially and also in the depth, which they're going to be located. Regarding the technology, it's optically based technology, mainly spectral analysis, optical sensing that is covered by an algorithm which basically allowing us to apply these optical solutions in soils, and which was basically what was the barrier for most of the developers to try to do similar sensors to work in soils.
Thank you, Elad. We have some more questions, but I promise all of you, by the way, the questions that we won't be able to fit in 10 minutes, we'll send to the teams and they'll answer them, and they'll be in contact with you. Next, I'd like to actually invite Josh Peleg to say a few words. Josh Peleg, the CEO of VGN, our wonderful sister organization. We couldn't have done it without you.
You almost did it without me because I happened to be at the side of a road here with the flat tire. But fortunately, so I apologize for the noise, and but fortunately, I have some time to at least watch these terrific presentations, and I'm very proud of this cohort. As Michelle said, you know, it's hard to think that you can be proud of another child, but here you have it again, and I'm anxiously looking forward actually to the third cohort that we're going to put together. I don't want to take any time. I want to thank everybody from Oazis, Michelle, Julia, and from Yazamut, Dana, Carmel, and all the team for doing this great showcase of what has been going on here for the last few months. I mean, this obvious. It's quite obvious the amount of work that has gone into this. I know some of these. I know all the technologies, and I know the people, and I've seen the progress from where you started and where you are today with these presentations, and it's phenomenal. And I wish everybody much luck. Thank you.
Thank you, Josh. Well, I hope your time will be a little bit better with us, waiting for, I don't know, Grau or something. Thank you, and thank you all BGN team that you can see here in some of the cubes on Zoom. Next, I'd like to say a special thank you. When we started Build Oasis, one of the first things we did is to partner with the wonderful IBM AlphaZone team, which is led by Uri Chayak, who unfortunately couldn't be here today, but he sent a video with his best regards.
Hi, everyone. On behalf of the IBM and the AlphaZone team, I want to congratulate Oasis Accelerator and our dear friends, Carmel, Dana, Michelle, Julia, and all the team for celebrating the demo day of Class 2. The Oasis Venture Builder is now a grown-up accelerator, and we are very proud to be your partners and continue support its amazing self-sufficient teams. In the last two cohorts, AlphaZone supported the startups from the technology perspective, but also built effective connection for the startups with other startups or with other customers, or even with the Rhode Island Hub Innovation as a landing point in the US. In Class 2, for example, we had SafeMind with connections with IBM Security Labs, Citibank, and MasterCard, and DOTS with connection to a kibbutz to host them as a better site for their sensors. So I want to thank the AlphaZone team led by Aniv, Ronen, Yafa, and Orly for their work. Last but not least, I want to congratulate the most important ones in this event, the graduated startups. You guys, you made a significant journey on your way to be successful, and I hope that we were meaningful for you. So good luck to you all, and you will always be part of the Oasis and the IBM AlphaZone family.
So thank you, IBM AlphaZone team, and especially Yaniv Alon and Ronen Simantov, our extended Oasis family, who are really the best friends and experts we could have ever hoped for. So back to our teams. Next, I'd like to introduce you to Pico Mills.
What you see here is a modern facility where the sorting and dispatching is fully robotized. Wait, fully? Well, almost. The picking is still manual due to the wide variety of shapes and sizes of packages, and this is what we are here to change. Welcome to the world of e-commerce. You just bought something online and can't wait for it to arrive. Shortly after, it magically appears on your doorstep. Unfortunately, magic isn't real, and a lot of hard work is put into fulfillment. Did you know that an Amazon employee is expected to pick 2,800 items per shift? That is why e-commerce companies have invested so heavily in robotics, creating more and more autonomy in their warehouses. Despite a massive increase in warehouse robotics, there is a notoriously difficult task that humans still have to do. That is picking and packing individual items. Robots have difficult time doing this, and no reliable solution currently exists. So human workers have been left to perform this repetitive, backbreaking task. Humans are, well, just human. That means that they can make mistakes, can only work so fast, need costly training and management, and they can be harmed by these difficult tasks. Although some robotic startups have recently entered the market, the solution isn't good enough. These companies mostly use standard grippers like suction cups, which can't grasp porous or irregularly shaped items. None of them have reached the reliability numbers that are good enough for the e-commerce industry. That's where we come in. P-commerce is going to solve the grasping problem and bring reliability up to e-commerce standards. Our robot will grasp everything and miss nothing. Before we move on to our solution, let me introduce our team. Our CEO is Moses, an accomplished CEO with over 13 years of experience in logistics and management. Moses knows everything there is to know about logistics, warehouses, packing, and the business surrounding it. On the tech side, Yoav, our CTO, has a PhD in robotics with significant technical and management experience. Professor Alon Rimon and I had our respective robotics lab in the Technion and Ben-Gurion University. Alon has literally written the book on robotic grasping. Combined, we have dozens of years in successful robotics research. Our team's expertise in robotics and logistics has allowed us to come up with our unique solution. We know that suction cups and jaw grippers can't grasp everything, but we'll use them to grasp what they can. To complete the goal of 100% item grasp, we add a third gripper, the sticker-based gripper, which is a completely new concept. This new device grips a specialized sticker, stick it onto the product, and use it to move the product. You can see our early prototype here, grasping two items in ways that vacuum grippers would struggle to. We are currently working on a more advanced prototype with extended capabilities. The sticker stays on the product after picking. The user can print barcode, advertisement, nutritional values, or whatever they desire. Our solution robustness directly increases the packaging speed while eliminating mistakes, increasing the warehouse productivity, and saving money all around. The market size for e-commerce is understandably huge and growing fast. The wages for picking employees worldwide is estimated at $240 billion. Of that, a conservative estimate of packaging robot industry is around $4 billion and growing. Right now, the market is virtually untouched. No robotics competitors have penetrated the market. And if they do, there is plenty of room for competition. Now is the perfect time to introduce a new, innovative picking company to the fray. Part of the reason that other startups haven't penetrated the market is that they can't pick everything. And even to pick what they can, some need to work in warehouses designed and built especially for them. Our system's unique approach allows us to grab everything in any warehouse. With growing market and few competitors, we plan to make money. We are testing two business models that can work for us: selling the system as a whole, and then selling the stickers it uses. Alternatively, we are open to a leasing model where the customers pay a set fee for each item picked by our robot. Looking forward, we expect to have our next, most advanced prototype within a few months of investment, capable of high-level demonstration. Within a year, we will have a pilot system in our design partners' warehouse, giving them real value. By the 2-year mark, we will have a system for sale, ready to pick everything. We will need $3 million to get us there. The world is moving toward robotics and fast. There's no good reason for us to still have workers breaking their back doing mundane jobs. It's about time we let robots do the work. We are P-commerce and we will pick everything, so let's go to work.
Thank you. The commerce, thank you. Amazon is right around the corner. And so is Roberto. Roberto, you wanted to ask a question. Roberto,
Hi.
you're with us? Hi.
Yes, I'm here. How are you?
Very well, thank you. You had a question?
Yes, I wanted to know, first of all, we'd like to know when the equipment will be ready for sale, and also at what price will be available in the market.
Okay, hi Roberto, my name is Moises. I'm the CEO of the company. Okay, the product should be ready to sell in about 2 years, fully to the customer. Our price will be at $50,000 will be our introductory price. Okay, it's a little lower than what is on the market right now, but it will be our introductory price for our first customers.
Okay, and thank you very much. And I wanted to know what the price right now in the market.
Right now, these kind of robots are between $70,000 to $80,000. Not ours, because what we have, it's accomplished 100% of the picking, but something similar that is taking around 85% of the picking or the products, it's costing around 70 to 80. We will start introductory price for our first customer in 50,000.
Okay, thank you very much. Sounds great.
Thank you, Roberto and Moise. Yaniv, you wanted to ask a question. Hi, just unmute yourself.
Unmute myself, yeah. Hear me? Well, first, thanks for yet another wonderful, wonderful presentation. And as always, glad to be here with the stars and the audience. My question is around the IP element of your solution and how you are protecting your IP. Is it your propriety? And how do you leverage that in order to penetrate the market and be really unique in the market and the first one to be there?
Hi. So we have a patent for this now in a PCT level. It contains 48 claims. All were approved by, after checking by the USPTO. So we are protected. Our IP is protected, and we are planning to develop further and apply for another patents in the future.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Vicky, you had a question? Vicky Almog.
Yeah, so a bit as a follow-up to what Yaniv asked, why do you think Amazon didn't do it so far? And what are the challenges you think you're going to face or you're about to face developing it into a product?
Well, Amazon is really facing this problem. There are several companies that are working with suction cups, but they cannot pick everything. They pick just about 80% of the objects. And we came up with a new idea that was not exist, picking with stickers that allows us to pick a large variety of objects, much larger than it is possible with suction cups or jaw gripper. Therefore, we can pick basically almost everything. We can pick a lot of things, and this will actually solve the problem that Amazon has, and they currently don't have a solution for this.
Okay. Thank you. Vicky, I hope that answered your question.
Somewhat.
Would you like a clarification? Or?
Yeah, I guess what I'm trying to ask is, do you think Amazon maybe tried to do something like that and decided not to go there because what are the challenges they faced, and where do you think you will have a better unique offering?
Yes, I think that they tried and they are still trying. I think that the challenge is that they don't have a reliable solution. They always need a person in the loop because of the large variety of objects and because they don't have a reliable picking system. And here our stickers would be much more reliable than everything exists today.
Vicky, Moises here again. A little more clarification. I think also Amazon is focusing in companies or working with companies that are already in the market and using the traditional solution that are suction cups or grippers. So basically, I don't think they are a little opening their eyes and a little forward. That's why we have the patent, and they didn't actually even try to apply for a patent regarding this product.
Okay, good luck. Sounds interesting. Thanks.
Thanks.
Thank you. We have a question from Gabi from our Facebook. He's asking if that technology can be used for home robots.
For home robots,
I'm guessing that's a student who really wants to, help himself.
Well, the basic idea, some parts of the product may be used for home robots, picking with suction cups and picking with jaw grippers. Yes, they can be used at home for various applications. But mainly our main idea and our main IP is about the stickers, and this is for grasping packed up items. So we stick a sticker to the object, which is packed in a box or in a bag, in a plastic bag or something like that. And this is something I think is more suitable for e-commerce and less for home use. And this is where we aim for.
Thank you. I think there are no more questions. Thank you, comrades, and best of luck.
I have one question.
Yeah, there you go. And then you can always ask whatever you want.
What is your expectation from a potential design partner?
We would like to put our robot in a design partner warehouse to get to know how the robot interacts with the warehouse management system, with different items that maybe exist, some items that we are not aware of. For instance, we found out that for car parts, for a warehouse that store car parts, this is very useful. They needed to get the shipping within 45 minutes when it arrived. So this kind of automation to collect those small car parts and put them in a box and ship it to the garage, that would be very good and very useful.
Okay, thanks.
Thank you, guys. Well done. Next, we are presenting Go Balance. So Go Balance are solving a problem which is very dear to me, and unfortunately a lot of us are closely familiar with it in our families. I hope you will enjoy the video.
Hey guys, my name is Shmulik Edelman. I am the co-founder and CTO of Go Balance. For me, Go Balance is just a smart system with advanced technology. It's about helping the elderly people, just like my grandparents and yours, to be strong and remain independent. It's about making their lives better. Hope you enjoy the demo day. Every 3 seconds, older adult treated in ER due to fall. Every 90 minutes, an older adult dies from fall-related injury. Imagine how it feels like living in constant fear that you may fall. We are talking about our parents, our family, and ourselves in the near or far future. We are Go Balance, and we are here to change this sad reality now, because one day we can all be this falling senior. My name is Shmulik. I am the CTO of Go Balance. I am a PhD researcher in robotics and control. Shani Batzir, the CSO, physical therapist, and a PhD researcher. Our advisory board includes the most expert members you will ever find. Professor Amir Shapiro, robotic expert. Professor Yitzhak Meltzer, specialized in balance control. Professor Steven Rabinovich and Dr. Nahum Soroker, balance expert. Over 110 years of experience in balance control. In 2020, the senior worldwide community was over 720 million people. More than 27% of adults aged over 65 fall at least once a year. 10% reported fall-related injury, hip fracture, head or wrist injury. About 50% will develop fear of falling. The senior population will double itself in the next 30 years, and we are going to deal with what's called the silver tsunami. The economic implications are huge. A single falling event costs between $2,000 to $26,000. Yearly medical costs related to fatal fall injuries is over $750 million, while for non-fatal fall injuries, the economic hit over $50 billion market. What you see here is the Go Balance POC system. We have held clinical trials with 48 patients. The system is applying unexpected lateral tilts, stressing the lady's reactive balance control. It's impossible to achieve it on a standard equipment. Let's see what's really happening here. The trainee safely pedals a stationary exercise bike. The system applies unexpected perturbation. A computer vision system detects and analyzes the trainee reaction, physical and cognitive. A sophisticated AI algorithm prepares the next personalized training session. Cognitive training applied during the whole session. Fun, intuitive cognitive games that are integrated with the perturbation. For example, riding in the forest. After each session, the trainee gets a feedback for his performance to encourage the next session. Unexpected perturbation balance training. First, we improve the reactive balance control. By that, we reduce the fear from falling. Recent meta-analysis showed that balance perturbation training reduced the risk of falling by 46% compared to other solutions that can reduce the rate only by 25%. In our preliminary trials, we see a significant improvement in daily balance activity using Berg Balance Score. We have compared ourselves to the most high-end solution there is today. I want to point out two most important parameters that we differentiate by from others. Unattended, no need for professional assistance during the session. Sit, let's be honest, it's very difficult for seniors to do physiotherapy while standing or walking. As you can see, our systems have a variety of advantages over the others. We want to help the world while making money. The system will be sold or leased. We will have a SaaS model for analytics and personalization. The system price is $25,000, and we will have an insurance code. The target market is nursing homes and rehabilitation centers, starting in Israel as our sandbox. Next are Canada and US with the help of our board members' connections. 10 years of research produced proof of concept, IP, and clinical trials with 48 patients. In 12 months, product development and more clinical trials with more data. In 24 months, we will have market exposure and the product will be ready for mass production. We are looking for $2.6 million to start our operation and to reach first revenue. Go Balance, for life without fall, for life with balance. Thank you very much for listening.
Thank you, Go Balance. We'll go straight to questions. Andre, you were the first one.
Yeah. Do you see me?
Yeah, we can see, we can hear you.
So my question is, what advantages this product got over hydrotherapy sessions?
Mhm.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yep.
Yeah, I will let Professor Itzhak Meltzer to answer that question, please.
Okay, so Andre, most of the physical therapy training sessions for balance control are voluntarily exercises such as standing on one leg or standing with the feet placed one in front of the other. These exercises cannot really improve balance reactive response when you lose your balance unexpectedly. So our training or our machine, our system can train those reactive responses that occur unexpectedly. In order to improve these reactive balance responses, you have to expose these patients to unexpected loss of balance or unexpected perturbations. And we're able to do that.
Thank you, Itik. Nava, one of our loved mentors, you had a question.
I do, thanks, Yulia. I was wondering whether you had any clinical results, because I've come across different forms of exercise being offered to the elderly to prevent this very problem. Do you have any clinical results that would show supremacy of what you're proposing?
So actually we completed a randomized control trial recently with 48 elderly subjects, and we found a significant improvement in several clinical features of balance control, such as Berg balance scale and postural stability measures. And this is very promising because actually we treated or we trained these subjects in sitting position, and these clinical examinations were in standing position, in all kinds of other position that is not in sitting, which seems to show us that the training program in sitting, we were able to transfer the balance training program to standing and walking positions, which is great from clinical perspective.
Thank you.
I want to just to elaborate on that. For the 48 patients that we did the clinical trial with, in total we did about 1,000 sessions for all of them, which means a lot of each patient had a really lot of sessions. Each session was about 25 minutes long. And we had a success rate, and when I say success rate, I mean they wanted to stay on the program and keep training. About 96% of them keep training and want to do it more.
Wonderful, thank you. I'm grouping some questions together here from Gadi and Roni. Some about the product, where is it going to be located, in clinics and homes, who's going to pay for it, insurance companies?
So the first stage is to go to nursing homes and rehabilitation centers. The system will be held there in their sport area or in the gym, and the patient can come and exercise and have a special designed training program that our AI system will develop especially for them, and we'll keep the progress on.
Okay, thank you. Rafi, you had a question?
Yes, yes. I have, well, basically two questions. One, is this a preventive product or a recovery product after a fall or after an accident? And secondly, in terms of go-to-market, will this be a product endorsed by, let's say, healthcare providers, or will this be like a tread walker or a treadmill at home, which will be voluntarily again?
Okay, about the second part of the question, I will answer. In the first part, I will give Professor Itzhak Metzel to answer. We intend the system for, as I said before, for rehabilitation centers and nursing home. It's not meant for personal use. We do plan to have what's called sorry, I forget the term, to collaborate with
I think the term you're looking for is reimbursement.
not sorry, I forgot the term. Sorry about that.
I think the term you're looking for is reimbursement.
Reimbursement, yeah. And to work with those insurance company, sorry, to work with those insurance company, and so they have some kind of discount, and they will want their elderly society to work with our system too. It's like, do you want to answer the first part of the question?
Yes, of course. Thank you, Rafi, for asking the question. Actually, the best way to prevent falls is a prevention program. I mean, you cannot prevent fall after falling. So I think that it's a preventative approach. And actually, as Shmulik said during this presentation, is that perturbation training, this kind of training programs, were able to reduce the rate of falls in 46%, while regular or traditional physical therapy, the best physical therapy you can ever think of, can reduce the rate of falls in 25%. So preventative is the most important thing. However, I think, and I know from when I'm talking with doctors, that it can be also a rehabilitation approach of improving balance control in elderly stroke patients, elderly people after hip fracture, and Parkinson patients that have a balance problems, especially balance reactive problem, which is, I must say, the second that you are losing your balance and you are unable to react, and this kind of we are training this second that you are losing your balance and you don't know what to do, and only by our training approach or this kind of training approaches you can expect improvement.
Thank you.
Thank you. And I think we have time for one more question. Dana, you wanted to ask?
I wanted to ask about any kind of regulations that are needed, FDA, anything else?
Yeah, that's a very good question. Ofer is our mentor in our program. And Ofer, are you here with us?
Yeah, hi everybody. So indeed, we've looked into this, and it's all a question of where you're targeting the system. As it stands, targeting elderly homes and rehabilitation centers does not require medical regulation or FDA regulation. Of course, it requires like a CE certificate. Once we consider looking into clinical claims like rehabilitation for specific incidents, then that becomes a different story.
Okay, thank you. Our time is up. So any further questions, we'll send them back to you. Next, I'd like to invite actually Nava, who you just heard, to say a few words. Nava was our mentor from our first cohort, actually. She's doing an amazing job, really dedicating herself to our teams, and not just the team that she's mentoring every time. We're welcoming her every time, each Oasis session, each Oasis day. And we'd like her to say a few words about how it feels to be a mentor in Oasis. Nava, well, actually, Nava was Dana's former boss. She's really a leading innovation and commercializing expert. She's a former VP in Novartis, if you know it, VC and CEO of Zoom, our brothers, BGN's brothers from the Hebrew University. And Nava, would you like to say a few words?
Hi, everyone. This really is a pleasure. I'm a frequent mentor. And as a frequent mentor, I get to see teams and accelerators around Israel and indeed around the world. And one of the reasons I love Oasis, and I'm grateful to Dana for putting me in touch with this fantastic team, is that it aims to solve a problem that no one has quite managed to solve properly around the world, which is how to take deep technologies from the university, build a viable management team, and really get these companies out in a way that they have the best chance for success. And I know that Michelle's going to give you an update at the end, and you'll be amazed to hear what the success rates are so far in attracting additional funding and in moving on to the next stage with, in fact, the 2 cohorts that we've seen so far. And the reason that this works is because there's an amazing team at the helm with Michelle and Julia and the people beside them. I'm not at all objective about Dana. You know, I admire what she succeeded in doing at Ben-Gurion University over the last few years, and Oasis is just but one shining example. And I think that it's here to stay. We have a few kinks to iron out, and both Michelle and Julia and Dana, in fact, and Josh, who is probably not here, he's changing the tire on his motorbike, but we've spoken about some of these things, and we'll figure them out as we go along. But on the whole, you've really managed to create a most unusual program, which gives the participants the best chance of success. That doesn't mean that you'll necessarily succeed, but it means that your chances are, I don't know, more than doubled. We'll have to do a clinical trial and see what works. But you really are privileged, and you're privileged to be here. And I'm sure that as we move along and we iron out the kinks, it will become even better than it is so far. And I take my hat off to the Oasis team for the selection of companies, of professors, for putting together the teams with the students and giving the students the opportunity to take part in something so exciting. In the first cohort, I had the great opportunity to work with 2 young students who had never done anything like this before, and they were amazing. And not only did they learn a lot, but I'm sure that they'll be taking those capabilities to the next level. So with that, I believe my 3 minutes are over, and I am very, very happy to give the stage back to Julia to thank everyone again. And I look forward to seeing you all here the demo day of cohort 3.
Thank you, Nava. Thank you, and we're really, truly honored and lucky to have you and all the other mentors. You saw Ofer, and we have Tal, and we had Avner and Alex, yes, and Helena. We are truly fortunate.
Wait a minute. She said, see you at demo of cohort 3.
Yeah, I can't imagine that right now.
Right, the whole time, Nava.
I'm not going, and I can't go anywhere. And really, it really is a pleasure. And there are enough people around this virtual table who know that I don't necessarily give compliments lightly. So this is heartfelt, and I really am very, very impressed, and I continue to be impressed. So, and I'm very grateful to Zoom, because I'm not sure that we would have been able to maintain this level of activity if we had to drive up and down to Beersheba. So I'm very much in favor of keeping Zoom for a while longer.
Yeah, actually, that was one of our lucky accidents. Michelle is my witness that I personally had a really hard time with COVID, and moving our teams and startups to the Zoom area. But definitely one of our lucky accidents is having you mentors online all the time. So thank you so much for that. Well, with that high peak, I want to move on to our next startup, which I believe that brings one of the most optimistic solutions that I came across in the past year. So there you go. Here's Neuromagen Pharma.
שלוש ארבע ולעבודה. מה אתה חייב את זה לעצמך? מה אתה חייב למשפחה? מה אתה חייב לשפוך הרבה זהה? בשלוש ארבע ולעבודה.
Everyone knows Stephen Hawking, a genius brain locked in a decaying body. Stephen Hawking died from amyotrophic lateral sclerosis, also known as ALS, a disease with no cure to date. Hi, I'm Dr. Gil Ben-Menachem, the CEO of Neuromagen Pharma. We are developing a new class of drugs for neurodegenerative diseases. Neuromagen's near-term focus is on one of our compounds, NT-499, which delays the onset and the progression of ALS. It is not known what causes ALS. The patient's motor neuron gradually die, and the muscles activated by these neurons are wasted and become paralyzed. As the disease progresses, the patients will have difficulty speaking, moving, and eating. And when the paralysis reaches the respiratory system, the patients will die, typically within 2 to 5 years from diagnosis. Taking care of an ALS patient is a heavy burden for their family members. Their care is required 24 hours a day. Some of them often quit their jobs, and they also incur out-of-pocket expenses estimated at $250,000 per patient. In the US alone, about 5,000 new ALS cases are diagnosed every year, and there are about 35,000 living patients overall. These numbers are expected to significantly grow over the next few years with the aging of the population. And sadly, currently, there are no cures for ALS. The only therapeutic help ALS patients can get is in the form of symptoms relief. The two drugs which are approved are Riluzole, a generic drug that typically extends the patient's life only in 3 months, and Radicava, which is a drug with limited effect, if any. It was recently approved in the US, but it was rejected by the EU. Nevertheless, it sold $250 million in 2019. This high demand demonstrates the unmet medical need for safe and effective drugs for ALS. According to global data, the ALS drug market is expected to grow from $200 million in 2018 to more than $1 billion in less than 10 years, mostly due to the aging of the population. We've assembled a top-notch team of experienced professionals, including 3 PhDs and a chemical engineer, to develop this breakthrough drug I'm going to show you in a minute. Esther Priel, the scientist behind the technology, is a professor of molecular biology at Ben-Gurion University. She has over 35 years of research developing new drugs for the treatment of devastating, incurable diseases. Esther is a world expert in the field of neuroprotection by telomerases. Dr. Helena Greenberg has extensive background and experience in drug development and in medical devices. And Daniela Buchnik is a chemical engineer responsible for operations. And lastly, myself, I have more than 20 years of experience in business development and management in large pharmaceutical companies such as Teva and Excel, as well as in smaller biotech companies. I know how to develop a drug and how to commercialize and monetize it. Over the years, I came to realize that what excites me most are the early stage technologies that have a huge dream behind them, a chance to make a real difference in patients' lives. And so when I came across Professor Priel's technology, I immediately saw the opportunity to change the way we treat ALS patients. I'm truly excited to make it a reality and to get to work. One of the novel drugs that Esther developed is NT499, a small molecule which activates an enzyme called telomerase. This activation protects the neurons, prevents their degradation, and enables the growth of new ones. This is a paradigm shift in the treatment of ALS. Currently, there are no drugs that show such effect. And so our compound has a good chance to be not only first in class, but also best in its class. NT499 crosses the blood-brain barrier. It is active in nanomolar concentration, and it appears to be safe at the effective dose levels. All characteristics that make it a great drug candidate. When we treat ALS mice with NT499, which show symptoms very similar to human ALS, we see a significant delay in the time when the symptoms appear. And the treated mice also lived longer. Professor Priel research also showed that treated mice had 60% more neurons in the spinal cord than untreated mice. So what's next? We have a very clear path, a roadmap ahead of us. Within 2 years from investment, we will complete the preclinical work. We will submit an IND application to the FDA and enter first-in-human trials. We anticipate to be in the clinic in 2 years and, with the help of Big Pharma, in the market within 5. Our goal is to bring to market a new breakthrough drug to treat ALS patients, which will significantly delay the onset and the progression of this horrible disease and hopefully improve and extend patients' lives. Not having to pour ice buckets over ourselves in order to raise awareness for ALS would be an additional upside of our success. We're ready to get to work, and we thank you for your attention.
Thank you. Thank you very much. I just want to comment about questions. Some people ask me questions in Hebrew, and if you feel uncomfortable asking in English, that's okay. We can transfer some of the questions to Hebrew. One of the questions that repeats itself a lot, actually, is if your solution only fits ALS or you're planning to expand to other diseases, drugs, and so on.
Thank you, Julia. Esther, do you want to take this?
Yes. Well, the compound can protect neurons from damages that can be caused by several factors, and therefore they are suitable for neurodegenerative diseases in general, like Alzheimer and Parkinson, in addition to ALS. Indeed, we performed experiments with Alzheimer and mouse model, and we showed that the compounds protected neurons from amyloid beta plaques, which these plaques are one of the major pathologies of Alzheimer. And we also found that treatment with the compound dramatically reduced the amyloid beta plaques burden in the brain. And most interesting and very important also, the treatment with the drug improved the cognitive behaviors in Alzheimer mouse. So we think that because the drug actually do not deal with the cause of the neurodegenerative diseases, the cause are unknown. Because of that, we can treat what is common with all the neurodegenerative diseases is the damages of the neuron. So the answer is yes. It's a long answer, but the answer is yes. We can also use this drug for other neurodegenerative diseases.
Thank you. We have Tamal from our Facebook asking, well, when will it be available, or when will the first patient be cured?
Well, that's a good question. I won't say the $1 million question because it will be much more than $1 million, but
we are in the beginning of the path towards entering the clinic, hopefully within 2 years. Once we are starting the clinical trials, regrettably, clinical trials in the ALS are relatively quick. The patients die very quickly. So hopefully, if everything goes well, we hope to be able to be in the market in the range of 5 years from now.
Thank you, Gil. I think you have some sort of delay, but you said 5 years, right?
Yeah, I'm sorry if you don't hear me too well.
There's a little bit delay in your, I think, in your Zoom.
Oh, okay. Yeah, we hope, in short, we hope to start the clinical trials within 2 years, and if everything goes well, to be in the market within 5.
Thank you. We have a question from abroad. Michael from Canada. You wanted to ask?
Yes, thank you, Yulia.
Hey.
Firstly, let me say how impressed I am with your demo day. Outstanding. And I'm happy to join you. I have a brief question about your business model. Your long-term vision, do you want to be a pharmaceutical company and manufacture drugs like ALS, or will you consider licensing the technology or possibly even selling it? Have you thought about your long-term business model? When you grow up, you want to be a pharmaceutical company?
It's a good question, Michael. Thank you. As you may know, in the pharmaceutical business, there are 2 models. You can bring your drug to a stage where it's available for licensing or partnering with big pharma, or you can go all the way. The truth of the matter is that we're too early to decide. Our capabilities at the moment are within clinical trials, not so much within commercials. So we think we will partner the drug down the road, hopefully in a stage that it will create value for both us and our partner. That being said, we are not excluding the options of going all the way ourselves, given the fact that ALS is a rather rare disease, and the marketing for it can be done relatively easy. Nevertheless, we don't have the capabilities right now of going fully commercial with that.
Thank you.
Thank you. Great to see you, Michael. Nava.
This is a topic that's near and dear to my heart, both as a former pharmaceutical executive, as a long-standing healthcare investor, but also because for the last several years, I've been involved specifically with ALS. And so my question here is, and maybe it's to Esther, without going too much into the technology in this forum, is the reason you chose ALS because it is a faster route to the market? Is this a first indication? Or is there something in the technology that you think is specific to ALS?
Well, the technology is not specific to ALS because it actually protects neurons from damages. And you can see neuronal damages in many other neurodegenerative diseases or brain injuries and so on. We choose ALS. I was advised when I started to look for indications, which indication to use first. I was advised to use ALS because of this was a specific strategy or business strategy. It is an orphan disease, and if the drug will be approved in this disease, then we can continue on and look for other diseases. This was why we started with ALS, but we got amazing results. I have to admit it. I was very, very surprised to see the results with mice. It was beyond my imagination. And so Yes, so there are very promising drugs in neurodegenerative diseases, and I really wish that I will be able to develop them to drugs in human, not only curing mice or treating mice. Okay.
There are a lot of healthy mice around the world.
Yeah. Yeah, so we want really to work with human and to see if our drugs will help ALS patients. This is a devastating disease, and everything that can delay the progress and the onset of the disease is a huge advantage in this
Absolutely.
this time. Yeah.
Absolutely, and it's a sound business strategy. So.
Yeah.
Well, Nava, you probably know more than anyone else the longevity and the costs of trials associated with Parkinson's or with Alzheimer's specifically, right?
I do, and I was also chairperson of a company that developed a Parkinson's drug. So, you know, we can maybe take this offline because
Sure.
there's a lot that we can discuss, and I'd be happy to help.
I'll be happy to.
Thank you. Actually, my inbox is exploding for people offering for their relatives to join your clinical trial, just waiting for it. So I think if you want any volunteers, there you go. I don't think we have more time for questions. For me, I just want to say it's really closing a loop. Estelle was my favorite teacher when I was in university about 15 years ago. And now it's really a pleasure to work with her on her startup. So thank you for that. And thank you, Gil and
Thank
Daniela
you,
and Elena. Your international team, your mentor and partner is sitting in Holland right now.
Thank you.
So for our final and wonderful startup, I would like to invite SafeMind, which hopefully will give us all a safe mind.
Shalom, my name is Shai, the CEO of SafeMind. Fasten your seatbelts because you're about to be scared.
Every single action you take is carefully monitored and recorded. Exactly what image you stop and look at, for how long you look at it. Oh yeah, seriously, for how long you look at it.
They know when people are lonely, they know when people are depressed, they know what you're doing late at night, they know the entire thing.
They have more information about us than has ever been imagined in human history.
Scary, isn't it? We grew naive about the flip side of these technologies. Most people are clueless. Now think, what if someone will use your psychology to attack you? This is where the rest of the industry is still lagging behind, and that's where we step in. We are an elite cybersecurity team with years of experience combining industry and academic research, defensive and offensive. And we are focused on the problem. These days, cyber-targeted attacks surpass mass attacks. Why? Because we got so addicted to our phone, apps, and social media, we are basically giving our privacy away for free. In addition, post-COVID-19, people are working anytime, anywhere, which means the traditional security perimeter is gone. Oh, and one tiny thing, large money is involved. Did you know 95% of the attacks are caused by human error? Look at 2020 spike. The bad guys are taking advantage of this. Such attacks, like advanced persistent threats, ransomware, carry high victim conversions and are executed by well-funded organized crime organizations or nations because, at the bottom line, human behavior is the key. Existing paradigms and tech solutions cannot catch up. This is where SafeMind shines. In our vision, we put the human being at the center, protecting you, your data, and your privacy against yourself. so others will not be able to use it against you. The solution we offer is personal, adaptive, context-based security. We are focused on the crossover between personalities and vulnerabilities. How do we do this magic? Data-driven approach. We observe the digital dust of people's daily lives from multiple sources, build a persona around it to predict continuously, on a minute level, in what contexts or scenarios you might be more vulnerable to an attack. This info can be fed into security operation centers, policy engines, or be used by cyber insurance companies. Looking around us, it is clear we are pioneers in an uncharted territory: personal, adaptive, context-based security. And why do we stand out? SafeMind's killer feature is a behavioral taxonomy, which is based on 7 years of research. In plain English, our ability to determine which personality types and situations are most susceptible to particular types of cyber attacks. Not only that, we measure the risk possessed by others on your social circles, and we use adversarial AI to mask your profile against hostile AI. Industry leaders we connected with, such as McAfee and Eclipse, believe we are the next best thing. They are on board. Are you? Well, you should be. The market potential is huge. We play at the intersection of these 3 domains and position to disrupt these combined markets. Our value proposition is substantial. For employees, Equifax Chief Information Security Officer said, frontline folks would like to behave better. They just don't have the data. Well, now they have it. They can choose to opt in or out and gain rewards when behavior improves. For CISO, loss avoidance, explainable AI, adaptive security. For managed security service providers, we provide risk-based management across multiple sources of info and predictions. The business model is based on an annual subscription. Good, better, best model is customized to all business needs, small, medium, or enterprise. Our roadmap starts with a PC, agent, and agentless versions, move to mobile, social media, and somewhere towards 2023, build the next product that will dig deeper into the privacy protection space. For this journey, we're looking for a $5 million investment. And if you are still not convinced you need to join us, here are some of the things you don't want to miss. $1 million grant over 7 years of research, registered patent, amazing traction, pilot is done, and we're ready to go live in 6 months from investments. So remember, with SafeMind, if someone is trying to attack you, we take it personally. Thank you.
Thank you, SafeMind. Moving on to questions. Vicky, you're the first one.
Oh, yeah, hey. So one of the things we find it hard at Intel while implementing external solutions is privacy. How will you answer that? I mean, I'll make it clear, it's the employee's privacy that the corporate is trying to maintain.
Yeah, good question. I'll let Rami and Ron answer that. Go ahead.
So, of course, we are going to comply with GDPR, CCPA, and other relevant regulation. It may provide some peace of mind to some of the users and employees. But first and foremost, we believe that the user's trust is earned, and it is the outcome of transparency and control. Actually, giving the control back to the user about the significant information that we may process, and full transparency about all insights that his employer may get about this individual user. The ability to opt in, opt out, and of course, our overall architecture is designed such that even if our models leak, nobody will be able to do any inference about the individual users. Ron, would you like to continue about it?
Ron?
Sorry, I talk on a mute microphone, so sorry for that. So actually, we have a slide on this exact topic to elaborate more about what is the kind of data that we are collect and how we utilize it, and what is the data flow. So Shai, can you present our slide, or maybe I will do it?
I suggest we'll take it offline. I don't think that this is the right forum to go that deep. But let's keep to other questions as well.
Sure, but I get the picture, and I think one of the things that you guys should consider is also how to create this trust among the actual users that are maybe concerned from their bosses or their employer to know their activity.
Thank you. I also hear a young entrepreneur there. So take mine if you need any tiny helpers. Mia, you had a question.
Thank you. First of all, let me just say that it was a great pitch. I enjoyed it a lot. Thank you. My question is, there are many digital ways to become victims of scam and phishing. We just off the top of my hand, we have email, WhatsApp, and other IM platforms, various social media, websites, clickbaits, the list goes on. Can you protect us from all the sources?
Yeah, I think that's the unique thing about the solution that we provide. It's not just regular enterprise systems. We are also able to hook into other data sources. In the presentation, we mentioned the term digital dust, which means this is what we leave behind when we visit in different sites, when we browse the internet, when we use our mobile phone. In addition, we are not tracking the person, we are tracking the persona. And I'll just give you an example. My little daughter enjoys coming from school, taking my mobile phone and play with Barbie on it. Now, someone might interpret that this is Shai, but indeed, this is part of my persona. And that means that when she's using the mobile, I'm susceptible to vulnerable to this type of attacks. So our model is built around this type of scenarios. They're very unique. It's not just the traditional profile type of tracking. It's more around the persona. Again, the combination of data, behavior, and privacy.
Thank you.
Sure.
Ironically, a question from our Facebook. Michal is asking, how does Apple versus Facebook battle influences you? Is it a good or a bad thing for you?
Yeah, thank you. So for those that are not familiar with that, towards the end of April, this April, Apple released a new OS update. And as a result of this update, basically new applications will require to flag out to the user if they're collecting information on them. This is what is called on the technology terms, Add ID for Android or IDFA for Apple. Surprisingly, this is not just for advertising purposes. One of the hiring pipeline folks that we have right now is an ex-NSO guy. He told us that NSO is using the innocent IDFA identifier to track people's behavior and to look for vicious types of attacks. This is exactly where we play in, and we're glad that Apple and Facebook are bringing this up to the awareness, simply because users are unaware right now. In addition, I can just give another kind of example. During the research work, the folks found out that most of the applications that we're installing on the mobile are using third-party SDK, which is common across so many applications, therefore exposing us against such an attacks. Again, this is another added value that we bring in.
Thank you so much. I have two questions, a different version of basically, what are you going to do with your money?
So basically, we have a very ambitious vision, I would say. The money will be mainly used for R&D work. Basically, data scientists are the most expensive talents in the market at the moment. But in general, we plan to expand beyond the current solution that we mentioned. As mentioned on the roadmap, down towards 2023, we would like to go and dig deeper into the privacy space. Today, we can provide masking abilities to the persona of a specific individual, partial or fully, to kind of trick the hostile AI trying to learn about our users. In the future, as mentioned by Rami, we would like to provide the control back to the user, which might cause a totally different type of business model, but again, that's for the future.
Thank you. I don't see any further questions. I guess everyone are eager just to use your product.
Yeah.
Thank you, Shai. I guess Orwell didn't even know what he was talking about. Well, guys, oh my God, teams, you rocked. I mean, these 2 hours were the result of months of hard work and hopefully years of future success. And we obviously are going to continue to support you graduates as we do with our first cohort, which you can see also here in our Zoom. And thank you again for everyone who made it possible for Oazis to bloom in the Negev. And especially I want to mention, if you can come, Roz as well from the main screen, we have our team has expanded. So we have Tamir here. I'm going to spotlight you for everyone. I'm sorry. And Roz, can you also, there's Roz. And we have Batel also here, which I can spot right now. And thank you all for helping us out and being part of the team and helping our startups. Thank you, Dana Gavish, our manager, and all Yazamut 360 family. And lastly, every ending is the beginning of something new. Here in 2 months, we're going to start our 3rd cohort. And so if you're a deep tech researcher looking for a co-founder or an experienced entrepreneur looking for your next challenge to co-found a deep tech startup, as you saw here, or a great mentor, you just love the spark of Oazis, please contact us via our website or follow us on LinkedIn. And thank you for coming and stay tuned.
Thank you.
Julia.
We are in the Oasis party, finish party pizza for everyone. Bye, everybody.
Julia, if you unmute everyone, we can all give you a round of applause.
Okay, I'm doing gallery right now.
Thank you.
You can all wave.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you guys for a
Thank
wonderful
you,
experience.
It's been a pleasure. Thank you.
Bye, good luck, thanks.
Thanks.
Thank you.
תודה רבה.
צוות אואזיס, להישאר על הקו.
I think we can finish the live.
אפשר לעבור לעברית גם, נדמה לי.
כן, אפשר, זה לא באמת משנה.
יש כאלה שכנראה נשארו אקטיביים, אז